Hey, how you doing out there? This is Bob and Bob Blues and the news coming to you directly from Atlanta, Georgia. It's a little song I'm working on with a colleague of mine. I call it Strong and Bold, and we all need to be strong and bold to face the challenges that are out there. I mean, everybody's feeling a little pressurized, pressurized, under pressure, feeling like they're under pressure, I guess, from maybe the weather. It's been hot. I've been dragging for the last week. I don't know. I don't think I've been sick or anything. I think it's just I'm not sleeping that good. It's been hot, and I've been trying to get a lot of things done, and sometimes you just run up against walls. But you have to stay strong and bold, no matter what. You have to keep your nose to the grindstone. And when you need to take a break, take a break. But when you need to work, you need to work. What can I tell you? But it's just so much going on around you that keeps your head spinning. I mean, the middle class is still getting hit hard in the economy in the United States. But yet we've got the best thing going anywhere in the world. I don't know. Israel's doing pretty good, too. I mean, economically. They do amazing stuff to be such a small country. But we are still number one on the planet, United States of America. But we could lose it all, We could go down this communist socialist road, and it would be the end of the United States of America, basically. There's so many crazies on the political landscape. It's like somebody, let out all the nuts from the nut house, and gave them an opportunity to run for public office. And there's so many uneducated, brainwashed young people, they fall for it because they say, I can't buy a house. At my age, I'm 35, I'm still living with my mom. Life is too hard. I need a handout. Hey, this democratic socialist idea from Bernie Sanders and AOC and all these other nut jobs, that might be okay. I get free housing, free bus rides, free groceries. I'll just, lay on my couch and play video games. Sounds like a good life to me. Hey, I'll vote commie. But what they don't realize, it's just signing their own death warrant. It's suicidal. To go down this crazy leftist path is suicidal. It will cause so much hardship, so much chaos, so much poverty, and death eventually, because communism, of all political systems, at least in the modern age, or recent, the last couple of 100 years anyway, I mean, they've killed so many people. Millions and millions and millions and millions of people have been killed under regimes that call themselves communist, or they're tyrannical regimes, and people don't have any freedoms. People they're willing to give up everything for a pie in the sky that doesn't work. So the fabric of our society has been torn, seriously. Even though Trump and the people on the right are trying to push back and have good vision for the country and have the right idea to keep the traditions, to stay true to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, to appreciate and support Judeo-Christian principles that have stood the test of time, they are being mocked and they are being made fun of by so many people on the left, from this country and from outside this country. We've been attacked. Not only do we have people inside the country, not only have we been infiltrated by so many bad players, bad actors who want to bring down the United States of America, they are supported by our outside enemies, such as China, such as Russia, such as Iran, North Korea, these jihadists from countries like Qatar. Even though they might think, oh, they're friendly, they gave Trump a nice, big, beautiful plane, which he has to keep on updating for security reasons. But really, they're not our friend. Turkey is not our friend. Qatar is not our friend. Saudi Arabia sometimes. Saudi Arabia plays both ends of the stick, depending on how the wind blows. The UAE maybe is the only, Bahrain maybe, a couple countries like that are really on our side, though they are Arab countries, because they really don't want what the Muslim Brotherhood wants, which is basically world destruction. They enjoy their good life. Europe is gone. Starmer left as prime minister in England, but the new guy is just as bad, if not probably worse than he was. England is gone, but Macron is totally a loser. All these countries have been taken over by the jihadists. They've infiltrated the institutions, so there's not really much hope for Europe. There are some bastions of liberty and freedom still, like in Argentina. I'm sorry, Argentina lost from Spain, because Spain I'm not really crazy about. They're very anti-Semitic. Ever since 1492, Columbus sailed the blue, but also all the Jews got kicked out of Spain, and they've been notoriously anti-Semitic forever. And though they did have a better team, I must admit. But it seems like in Spain, all the kids grow up with soccer, and it's free. So maybe that's why they have such good athletes. And football is because it's supported by the fascist government in Spain. Anyway, soccer is just a game. It's not real life. Although it brings a lot of joy. I see positive things from sports if it's done well. And I think it was a positive exercise, positive events here in the United States because of the FIFA, the Soccer Association, and the World Cup. People came here. They enjoyed their stay. They saw how great America was. They saw the best side of America. Thank God. And maybe they'll go back to their countries and try to wise up their politicians. I don't know. God's in charge, right? Which makes you think that maybe God's in charge and he wants all the Jews to go back to Israel. And this is just a part of the divine plan. There's all this anti-Semitism to get the Jews back into Israel. A lot of religious folks in the Jewish community think maybe this is it because, it's in the Bible. It was prophesied that the Jews would make it back to their homeland. The church went crazy because, it went against their replacement theology. How could they go back? They killed Jesus. They should be cursed forever. But they made it back, so I don't guess they're cursed forever. And basically, those who curse the Jews are cursed, and those who bless the Jews are blessed. It's in the Old Testament, which is the Word of God. So that's where I stand on that. So maybe it's the road to redemption we're riding along, we're taking. But there's going to be a lot of struggle, as most people realize currently, whatever you believe the system is, along the way. But like my song says, strong and bold, be strong and bold. Keep the faith, know there's one God, and love God. That's 3 good ways to keep the faith and to stay strong and bold. And when you have to take action, take action. When you have to eliminate the bad guys, you eliminate the bad guys. Now, there's a whole discussion, a whole split in the Republican Party about whether we want to be isolationists. And of course, you get a lot of this from the Democratic side, especially on the Democratic side. They don't like Israel, so they want to cut off funding. Majority of Democrats hate Israel. But those who have any sense realize you have to stop evil. Communism is evil. The RGC is evil. The mullahs are evil. China is evil. What Putin is trying to do in Russia is a little evil. And you can't have much sympathy with evil. Now, you can be diplomatic to a certain point of view, but I think Trump has tried too much to be diplomatic. I know it's the 9th day now. Last night was the 9th consecutive night that we bombed Iran, and we are hitting them hard. But I don't think they started or even now have the right approach, because it really should be total regime change. Totally get rid of the mullahs in the IRGC. Totally get rid of these Shiite jihadist nut jobs. Totally. Yeah, we have something in Judaism called Amalek, a country called Amalek. Who is Amalek? They hated God, and they were evil. We don't name who Amalek is today, so I know. Tucker Carlson wants to say that the Jews see America and the Western civilization as Amalek. That's not true. We just, as Jews, see evil when there is evil. And, you have to get rid of it. America is one of the greatest societies ever existed on the planet. And because it supported Israel, because it's blessed the Jews in so many ways, and because the Jews have felt free here like nowhere else in the world since the beginning of Israel. I mean, for 2,000 years. Of course, now the Jews have their own land to go to, so I guess they feel more or less free there too. But America's a special place, a very special place, and I hate to see it go down. But Rome went down, yeah. And even though Netanyahu mentioned that he was reading a book about how the Jews lost that war and how Rome defeated them and burnt down the second temple, it has nothing to do with the geopolitics today. Yeah, you could say the United States is the beneficiary of Greece and Rome, and that this civilization is built somewhat on their civilization. But it's a totally different age. It's a totally different period. The Romans were very brutal people and were pagans and had no concept of God as a divine being, as the one divine force. So there's no really comparison. I mean, you can go back to Edom, you can go back to Esau. You remember that story? Jacob and Esau, they were brothers, right? Isaac was the father, and Jacob and Esau fought because Jacob more or less followed the traditional path, studied God's law. And Esau was more, he went out and he married wives from pagan countries. And there was and he was very jealous of Yaakov. And Yaakov stole his birthright, et cetera, et cetera. So you can go all the way back to the Bible to see the elements that sort of play out. Well, they all play out in modern times, but in different ways. And it's easy to make the wrong conclusions. That's what I'm saying. And the anti-Semites do it all the time on purpose to put down the Jew. So that's my little insight into that. But I don't want to get into details right now because I ain't got the time or the patience. I got other things I got to do. And I can't stay on this podcast forever. But I'm just giving you my 3 cents. Hey, I'm getting paid. I don't think I'm getting paid much of this at all. I get paid. I mean, the more followers you get, and I really appreciate people who listen because I do get a couple of nickels, and maybe that will encourage me to continue on. So yeah, subscribe, follow me. I'm also do music. You can follow me on the streaming sites, Bob Jeter or Jeter in the Jets. I got music out there on that too. But I'm just trying to shed a little light. That's all I'm trying to do. And I appreciate you listening. And have any questions? You can find me on social media. Let me know. I'm willing to talk to anybody about the situation in the world because it's only through love, peace, and communication in the right way that we will save the world, we'll save the planet. There's too much diversion, too many angry people, too many people with big egos. That's all I'm trying. Enough said. See you next time. And I'll just go on out with my little song, Strong and Bold.